Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and as you can see, I've changed my outfit. I took my purple off for a day, well, most of it, so I got the hat and honestly my socks. The reason for that is because today is kind of a special day. We're going to cut clutch number 24. Now, I should tell you what I know about this clutch while I'm getting it prepped. What I know, are you guys still stuck together? Is, wow, we did that. Look at that. That was awesome. This particular clutch comes from what we call, well, I got to go back to the beginning. So we just cut some snakes the other day, and I don't know if you've seen them or not because one I think I recorded, and these are going to probably get posted out of order. But involving a champagne bred to a Blitz. Well, years and years ago, this is why we redid that pairing, and we did not get any more unless it's hiding in the champagne, which is possible. When we did that, we got these two females that looked, well, they looked kind of like this. I mean, I just need to show them to you, right? They looked like this. And we just called them pastel-like at first. And, you know, they were born, they really did look very much pastel-like. But you can see their colors have held really, really well. There's really good blushing. The pattern's very, very wonky. And these girls, two of them, we only had the two, we kept both of them, got to breed size. So we've bred them. We did that last year. We bred back to the father, we bred to a Blitz. And that threw some more of these, along with the fact that it also threw some Blitz combos. We just happened to have in our possession a Blitz pastel that we'd also made and kept, and we were able to compare. And they look different. They look different enough to be interesting. But you kind of tell yourself, okay, you know, we're going to kind of just let it be. You know, we're not going to make any determinations yet. Well, as those things have aged, they've gotten more different, not more similar. And there is a night and day clear difference. And anybody that comes to the facility, I will pull out one of those combos, those Blitz combos with that type gene right there, and show it to them and say, what do you think is in this? And pretty much everybody may struggle with the Blitz a little bit, and we get the Blitz. I've also showed them the straight genetic, so we have some babies that are straight genetic of that. I'll show it to them and say, what do you think is in this? One of the two I'll do. I can only get away with this once. And they'll go, oh, on the straight ones, if I pick a straight one, they'll say, oh man, it looks like there's pastel and probably something else in there. Well, I don't know what else, but pastel and something else, I can't really tell for sure. And then they'll throw out a guess of some random gene. And they don't look like standard pastels. I guess I should show you that too. And then on top of that, when we show the combo, they'll say Blitz, pastel, and maybe like fire or maybe something else. They always think something else is going on. You're in shed. Can I get one that's not in shed? You're not in shed, and you want to eat, but you don't need to eat. You've already, there you go. Whoa, you cantankerous son of a bitch. So this is a single gene version right here. And you can see, even today, kind of looks pastel-like. You start looking, the colors hold a little bit better, has really good blushing all through the back, and just the head. I mean, it just kind of looks like a really nice pastel with a lot of orange, a lot of things going on with it, just very close together pattern. To give you an example of the difference there, let me show you. I do have some baby pastels. Kurt, keep that up there. I got to find me a pastel. There you go. That didn't take long. This would be a similar size. Now this one's going to look closer. And the reason it's going to look closer is because that's het clown too. So there's extra going on there. But as you can see, the oranges are just different. And the closeness of the patterns, you just don't get that here anywhere. Not that single. I mean, they're close, but they're not just single. Bam, bam, bam. And that's through and through. Let me throw this one up and find you one that's not a het clown. Because a het clown tends to make things a lot nicer. Here's another one. Now this one isn't het clown, but it's het exanthic. So again, the colors They're different. Much more orange. A lot more orange. The pattern is wonkier and busier. And again, you don't, well, this is close together. It's not as close as that. So it's a different look, right? Slightly different look. But you can see where we came off and said, kind of looks like a pastel. Showed them to other people originally, same kind of thing. Showed them to a few people, and I'm not going to name drop because I'm just not into name dropping. But I contacted some larger names, and at least one and sent them some pictures and said, here's the story. Here's what we know. We know it's not retained sperm because we're the only ones that have bred that female. We know the other one doesn't have any champagne or any pastel in it, hiding in the champagne. We've bred it multiple times too. We know these things. And we've got 2 of these, and, you know, what do you think? And he said, I would hold that and work it. Didn't say it's new, didn't say it's not. He's like, it's interesting. So now, let's move on. Put this one up, and I'll show you some other things. Because I think this is important to show you before we cut these eggs, so you know exactly where I'm coming from. All right, girly. Now these will have a little bit different size to them, but it really won't matter. So this is a pastel blitz. Also het axanthic. Pastel blitz all day long. Looks exactly like a pastel blitz should. This is what we're working with now. No other gene in it other than the new gene we're playing with. And you can see how much brighter it is, how much nicer the color is, how much wonkier the pattern is, how much more speckling comes up, how much more blushing there is. And this is not me finding the best example and the worst example. I only have one example of the pastel blitz. I have a few examples of these, and they're all pretty much like this. Like this is par for the course. And to me, these snakes with age look even more different than they did originally. You know, this does not look the same as this. It just doesn't. So we now feel confident enough, whereas before we were just calling it, it's pastel-like. We feel confident enough now to name this project, okay? We're going to name this project. This project, we decided to name Hellfire. The reason for that name is it kind of looks a lot of flaming, a lot of brightness in those combos. It's super bright and brimstone-y, but brimstone was already taken. And also, I'd been binge watching a whole shit ton of Stranger Things. I ain't gonna lie. So this is Project Hellfire. So what am I trying to say? Am I saying this is a new gene? I am not ready to say that necessarily yet. I'm saying the potential is there. Signs are pointing to it's different. I can't wait to get it into some additional combos. Unfortunately, only one of the females went this year. This is her eggs, and they were bred back to dad, trying to repeat the results we had. Next year, the pairings will be different, trying to see if we can't combine it to pastel and see if it makes a super pastel, or if it makes a pastel wonky as shit and looks different. That will be a true telltale sign. If we hit the odds on here, we're going to have more than we can theoretically keep, and we'll probably end up having to part with a few of these, which there'll be a risk involved in that. There'll be a gamble involved in that a little bit. But you can see all of that, and I don't think it's hard to see the difference. So I'm excited to officially introduce the name Hellfire, lay claim to that. That's the project we're working on. Let's cut these eggs and see if we're going to have any. By the way, we had 7 eggs. We still have all 7. Oh, looky, looky. That is a Hellfire Blitz. Right there. Seen enough of them to know Hellfire Blitz. So right off the bat, we're doing good. We picked a good first egg. Somebody's going to be a little juicy. Oh, you're going to be juicy. That is a Hellfire. But I don't think we got Blitz. there you can really see how wonky that pattern is, how good that flaming is in there, how close together that is. When we first started hatching these, that became very confusing for me because the blitz tends to cause that. But when you look at that versus that, you can really see the difference, how it's just amped up and amplified in what we're looking at. So that one I don't think has blitz. If it does, it's not the best example of the more from what I can see so far. But it does have Hellfire. Well, rock and roll is here to stay. So there, we're looking at a Hellfire Blitz. You can just, again, see how close you're getting that single scale almost. We're not seeing the whole thing. You're going to see even more of that when it's out. That really nice peachy color and the crazy pattern, the crazy blushing on the back. That's what we're looking for. So far, man, 2 out of 3 are Hellfire Blitz. The other one's Hellfire. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's keep it going, though, man. We got 7 eggs. We should have, we should have a whole bunch of these. That one is, man, that's going to be hard to call because of where it's at. But I think, see, and again, this is one that the first time I'd have cut it, looking at how close that pattern together is, I'd have called, man, that's a blitz all day long. I don't think it is. I think that's just the Hellfire at play. I'm not seeing as much blushing, but you can see a really good example how close together that pattern is. I know, little buddy. But I think there, that is what we're working with there. Man. So we're doing really good here. We're going to cut this one with the bad writing on it. Whoa! Hot damn. So that just looks really bright and really good. But again, I'm not necessarily seeing blitz in that. I'm seeing probably the straight version. But damn, that one's a nice one. That's going to be a really nice one. But again, I think that's probably got Hellfire in it. So something really weird before I cut these last 2 eggs as well. And I think Kurt can do this from memory. We had more eggs last year. This year we got 7. I think last year we had 9. And last year, out of those 9, we had only 2 normals. The rest were Hellfire Blitz, or, we didn't have any straight Blitz, actually. So that's kind of a strange thing, too. And it's just maybe, at first I thought, man, we just had really good odds. But now as I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that's really coming across a lot, which is kind of a good thing. And again, we wouldn't even know if this is recessive yet or not. That ain't a normal. So I can't see enough of that one. That one may be a blitz, and it may not be. It's hard to say, but it's definitely got the Hellfire in it. You can see it through there. Last one. Are we gonna hit them all, Kurt?
No, this will be a normal.
My God, Kurt says it's gonna be a normal. I say no. I say we hit them all. I say we go 7 for 7, and I'm gonna cut another Hellfire. You know why I'm gonna cut another Hellfire? What you guys don't know is before we did this, there was this little internal conversation we had, and yes, this is me building drama for the last egg. And I bought this shirt on vacation specifically for this moment, and when we do clutch updates on this stuff, so I thought it'd be some good promotional. I told Kurt, I'm here, we're coming. Man, I gotta run home really quick, change shirts. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, we don't even know if this is 100% legit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, man, I bought the shirt just for this. So because I went home and I got the shirt, all these snakes said, you know what, we're going to all be Hellfires for him because he believes in us. So last one. And of course, I say the juiciest for last because they make the biggest mess when you cut them. Ha ha ha! It will not be a normal, Kurt. Now the question is, I don't see, where's the other one? So there's another Hellfire Blitz. This one is, it might end up being just a straight Blitz though. Because see the difference in color there? And the amount of flaming on that one, where it's just amped up versus this one. This could end up being just a straight Blitz. And, well, maybe not. That's pretty light right there. We'll have to see when it's out. That's definitely got Blitz in it. That pattern's pretty close together though. I think it actually is. I think it's just the way we're looking at it. So that one, I'm not going to call it just yet. Definitely not a normal, but we at least got 6 out of 7 to be, I mean, Hellfire. And we'll go back over them on Patreon with you just to really show you a little bit more in depth. Man, that one's awesome. We got at least 1 Hellfire Blitz. That one I don't know if it's got Blitz in it. That one I ain't sure on. I think we had at least 2 that were Hellfire Blitz, and the rest are just maybe just Hellfire. So, but we'll go back through and we'll look. So I'm really happy with the results here. And again, what is it doing? Well, it's proving that whatever we're working with is 100% absolutely genetic, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, are we working with random pastel that popped up that happens to just be a super, super bitchin' nice line of pastel? It's possible. I ain't gonna lie. That is still possible. But when I look at the difference in those 2 snakes in that combo with Blitz, that thing looks like it's turned up to 9 versus the other one out of 5. And to me, it's night and day, which tells me I think we may very well be working with something new. So if you want to get, I got to be careful how I word this so I don't get sued, okay? So if you're watching Netflix, which I'm sure you're not, I'm not going to put your 2 words together. So if you would like to join Club Hellfire, make sure and join our Patreon, because if we do part with any of these, that's where they'll be. All right, see what I did there? I did the little inversion. Anything you want to add?
No.
So what do you think seeing these?
They look cool.
They look cool. Do you think in your, if you had to say right now, and there's no wrong answer, do you think it's different than pastel?
Yes.
So I do too, and so does people who see it on a frequent basis. Now, there's going to be people who will see a picture and go, oh, I think it was just pastel, blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. I don't give a shit. But I'm telling you, being around it every day and coming from the point, and if you don't believe what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch earlier videos because we've talked about this a lot. We came from the point of, not it's new, we want to prove it new. We came from the point is, it's pastel. That's where we started. It's pastel, and it's pastel until you prove it not. But it looks so different in combos now that to me, well, that's not 100% concrete because there's some variation there. It's pretty damn close. And if we would have got the other clutch to go to, which we didn't, I think we would have gotten a concrete answer. So we're going to switch up the pairing and try to get that for sure next season. But by next season, if we have a concrete answer and you ain't already in, you're going to be behind the 8 ball and the price will go up dramatically. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.